Well, the Mark V Spitfire that's not here, that's the one that was at Dutchland. That had quite a bit of a history. When Spitfires actually took off, admittedly they had to go side by side because they couldn't actually see the runway because they were tail draggers. But when they were going off actually to the assembly line to take off, you used to get ground staff used to sit on the tails to keep the tails down. And that Mark V Spitfire was one of the Spitfires actually, where there was a Margaret Horton who was a WAP, and she actually sat on the tail of one of them. That's right, and the pilot didn't realise, thought she was off and took off. And she wrapped herself round the rudder, and she was wobbling the old rudder with her hand, which of course the pedals started to go, and the stick, knocking everything they could, and he reported back to the air traffic control, and they said, he said, I think I've got a problem, I'm going to come back in. So he came back in and she got off, and I think she was on a charge for that. And she was here a few years back and had a photograph taken on that Spitfire, and that was a Mark V. So she's since died, but
true story.
Now this one here, this is a Mark II. This is an original Battle of Britain Spitfire. It used to have bullet holes all in the wings, but they were taken out. I don't know if the public seeing this sort of thing or whatever, but they were taken out. This is a Mark II, an original Battle of Britain. I've seen action in the Battle of Britain and all through the war. It's crashed and been rebuilt. And after the war, sold for £25 for a scrap metal builder. And he put it in the barn and kept it there for about 2 years, and then he decided he would have a look round, and he had a look round, and he found a logbook actually in the cockpit, and the logbook illustrated that it was the 14th Spitfire to be built at Castle Bromwich in 1941. So really that was the 14th, and they made 26,000 Spitfires, so it was a rare article. We managed, we got hold of it, so and then of course it ended up here.
Fuel tank's on fire, the planes are straight into the cockpit on the Hurricane. So this one, she's rather a special girl, this one. She was built in 1940, number 14 off the production line at Castle Bromwich in Birmingham. And she's the only one in the world still flying that actually saw service in the Battle of Britain. She had 6 weeks and got shot down, which was, in one way, was a saving grace on that. She was being flown by a Polish pilot named Ludwig Martel. He went up with his squadron, through the clouds, after the Germans, into the bright sunlight, and they got bounced by the German fighters. 2 were shot down and the pilots managed to bail out. This one was hit on the left wing route. Shrapnel from the shells went into his body and his leg, and he couldn't get out. So he put it back into the clouds, found a nice flat field just outside of Hastings, landed wheels up, survived the crash, and the aircraft survived the crash. Okay, she was damaged. He was off duty for about 8 weeks. In the meanwhile, the Battle of Britain had finished, and so the aircraft was taken away. She didn't come back online until 1941. By that time, we say the battle. In that first 18 months of the war, the Spitfire evolved rather rapidly. So this one is a Mark II, 1940. August she was built, in August 1940, on the Antique Road Show, to see if they could value it, and they couldn't put a price on it. You see, it was priceless. So 2 million would buy you a Spitfire these days, in airworthy condition like this. So with this history, God knows how much it would be, this one. It's a lovely old girl. They're having a little bit of problems with it at the moment, but I think it's parts more than anything. Getting her sorted. But she won't be up long before she's flying. So, she's depicted in an aircraft of 41 Squadron, which was a Battle of Britain squadron. Pilot named Eric Locke. Sawn off Lockie they called him, he was only a little chap on that. 21 years old. First saw service over the North Sea when the squadron was based at Catterick, in Yorkshire. And he shot down a German bomber. Shortly afterwards, the squadron were taken down to Hornchurch, deep in the throes of the Battle of Britain. And by the time the battle had finished, which was the end of the October, he'd shot down 21 German aircraft and 8 probables. And he's the highest scoring British pilot in the Battle of Britain. And you don't hear a great deal of him on that. And then after the Battle of Britain had finished, they used to fly over France, rodeo missions as they call them, shooting at anything on the ground. He indicated to his wingman that he'd seen a target, peeled off after this target, and he was never seen again. The crash was not logged. The Germans were very good at depicting out all their crashes and that. But there's no record of him crashing, but nobody's found his plane or his body. I think what happened was he got hit and damaged and went into the English Channel on the way home. That's where he ended up. And he was just 22 when he died. And he'd shot down 26 and 8 probables by the time he got killed.